Money and marriage, two things that can go very, very right together or very, very wrong. And in this video, you're going to discover how to make sure your marriage stays on the right side of the financial tracks so you can rest easy knowing money problems won't derail your relationship. And if staying on the right side of the financial tracks is important to you, then you're going to want to subscribe to our channel and click that bell so you'll be notified when we publish new videos. We've been helping couples stay on track together financially for decades. Check this out. This is from a letter from Tim in Portland. After 22 years of marriage, no arguing over money and on the same page towards our financial goals for the first time in many years. That's one of my favorite testimonials. Hi, I'm Tony Manganello. Since 1995, my business partner John Commuta and I have helped over 3 million people discover what Tim and his wife have. And in this video, you're going to learn 3 cash flow secrets that will show you how to take your money, the money you're making right now, and help your marriage get on track to being free from financial stress and create a plan that will get you not only on the same page like Tim and his wife, but also partner together to create the kind of financial future your family truly deserves. Cash flow secret number 1 is forming Us Incorporated. Forming Us Incorporated means you'll both have a business-like approach to your marital finances. Since it's common knowledge that financial stress can lead to divorce and divorce itself can amplify financial stress, it only makes sense that you both come together and run the finances of your marriage like a business. What this means is you review your resources together, your needs and your wants together, and develop a plan to achieve those goals financially together. This also means you identify things that, well, they might have to be put aside for a while. When you run a business, you do things like forecasting to determine how to achieve short and medium and long-term goals. That's what Forming Us Incorporated is all about. It's about planning ahead so you're as prepared as you can be for the curveballs life will inevitably throw at you. Forming Us Incorporated is where you view each other as you should, as equal partners that value each other's gifts, talents, and work ethic. And your approach to your marital finances will be a partnership in achieving what you can together. Planning your finances together will help you galvanize your relationship and help build the trust every relationship requires. In my book, The Debt-Free Millionaire, I call this the family that pays together, stays together. That's what Forming Us Incorporated is all about. And it's what starts to get you both on the same page financially, like Tim and his wife. Have you ever considered approaching your marital finances like this before? If Forming Us Incorporated sounds good to you, give me a "We're incorporating ASAP" in the comments. Cash flow secret number 2 is to determine Us Incorporated's wealth potential. Doing this is actually pretty simple. All you need to do is get together and calculate your combined net monthly income, not your gross income because, net income is all you have to work with. When you have your total household net monthly income, then multiply that number by 12 to determine how much you're both going to bring home in a calendar year. When you have that number, set it aside because we're going to refer back to it in just a bit. But for now, this is Us Inc.'s annual revenue. Now, multiply Us Inc.'s annual revenue by the number of years between now and when you want to quit working. Let's take a look at what I mean by following an example from my book. This is the sample family from my book, The Debt-Free Millionaire. Meet the Fortunatos. Their net monthly income is $4,600, so $4,600 times 12 equals $55,200 in net annual income. They have 30 years until they want to quit working, so $55,200 times 30 equals $1,656,000. That is a lot of money. What do you think your number will be? The reason this exercise is important is simple. If you're going to run Us Inc. like a business, this amount is how much wealth potential Us Inc. has. For the Fortunatos, that's the $1.656 million. This amount is what your life will need to conform to so you can avoid financial stress. Financial stress begins when you start living beyond that amount and you're forced to figure out how the heck you're going to make up for the deficit. And deficits, they lead to frustration and they begin to amplify small problems into big problems that the owners of Us Inc. would otherwise easily handle. And if Us Inc.'s revenue is mismanaged, it can lead to bankruptcy. And we know what that means. You'll notice I'm not talking about putting together a monthly budget. I go into this in greater detail in my How to Budget Money Effectively video. But here's the biggest reason I avoid monthly budgets. It's because they're focused on using the income from your work to pay bills. Now, while that's obviously important, I believe it's more important to focus on using the income from your work to replace the income from your work. Using the income from your work to just pay bills, that's what leads to a lifetime of payments and leaves you broke, vulnerable, and stresses out your marriage. Using the income from your work to replace the income from your work, though, that provides a superior purpose for your income. And when Us Inc. can replace its income, the owners can really enjoy life. Cashflow secret number 3 is protecting Us Inc.'s wealth potential. What we know so far is that Us Inc. is going to generate a small fortune. For our sample family from my book, that's the $1.656 million. Now that you've determined what your small fortune is, you need to protect as much of it as possible. The first step to protecting Us Inc.'s fortune is to eliminate the need for outside funding sources for your life. Now, sometimes when businesses get started, they use outside sources to fund their operation in the beginning. That's probably where you are right now. You're in the beginning and you require outside sources for your operation. Unlike a typical business whose operation involves things like sales and marketing, human resource management, that type of stuff, your operation involves feeding, sheltering, and nurturing your family. And when you first get started, that operation, it needs some help from outside sources. But now that you've determined what your small fortune is, it's time to begin planning on becoming self-funding. What I mean by self-funding is this. If you continue doing what you're doing now, you'll continue to rely on outside sources to fund your life. But ask yourself this question. Why do you think those outside sources would be willing to lend you money? The reason outside sources are willing to lend you money is because they look at that small fortune Us Inc. will generate, and they want as much of that small fortune as they can get their greedy little hands on. Instead of relying on them for funding your life and paying them interest, I'm going to show you how Us Inc. can transition to becoming self-funding. The first step you need to take is to determine how much of Us Inc.'s revenue can be redirected to start the self-funding process. For the Fortunatos, the sample family from my book, they could redirect $425 a month. Now, your number may be higher, it may be lower, but whatever it is, Us Inc. has to start somewhere. Here's what the Fortunatos' results are. After they've determined they had $425 to redirect towards becoming a self-funding operation, they redirect that amount into a private family bank. A private family bank is a type of account that allows you to do two things simultaneously. It allows you to pay off your debt and use those same debt elimination dollars to build wealth while your debts are being paid off. Using a private family bank to pay off your debt is the new and improved debt elimination strategy. Here's what the Fortunatos are able to achieve with this strategy. They have $238,273.25 in total debt. This is for a mortgage, a couple cars, and a handful of credit cards. And they're paying $2,575 a month in total debt payments. By redirecting their $425 a month into a private family bank, they pay their $238,273.25 in total debt off completely in just 9 years and 9 months. They save over $169,000 in interest payments, and when they're debt-free, they have nearly $50,000 in their private family bank. And once they're debt-free, they freed up that $2,575 that was being used for debt payments. It's now back in their pocket every month. So they continue to use the private family banking strategy. And by the time they want to quit working, they have a grand total of $1,000,000 $36,079 in their private family banking plan. These funds are the funds they use to self-fund the life they want to build together. What do you think your numbers could be? Now, we've been showing people how to protect hundreds of thousands of dollars in future wealth by implementing a private family banking strategy since 2012. It is simply the most powerful financial tool available to the average family, to all the us incorporateds out there. Now, if you'd like more information on how these awesome financial systems work, just click the link below and get your hands on a copy of The Banker's Secret to Permanent Family Wealth by my business partner, John. In it, you'll learn everything you need to know about what a private family bank is, how they work, and how you can start one for your us incorporated. And if you think this video helped you, please click the like button and let me know. Helping you work towards a better financial future is what we're all about, and you clicking the like button helps us know we're doing our job. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when we publish new videos. There are so many sad statistics about problems couples face these days, and it's sad to me when families struggle because of money issues. From what I've seen, money issues all have the same basic beginning. Most people just don't know how money works. I mean, we're not ever really taught about it in school. So do yourself a favor and check out our money myth videos where you'll learn about 6 money myths you've probably bought into yourself. And if you have any questions at all about a personal finance topic, drop me a comment and I'll get back to you ASAP. I read the comments every week and I'll respond as soon as I can. Your Us Incorporated is important to me, and I would love to know you're succeeding. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.